Hello everyone, welcome to the Sweets Way sleepover that you're attending on behalf of the residents here.
So I'm here in an occupied house on the Sweets Way estate in the rotten borough of Barnet in North London. It's very Blackadder, isn't it? Right? I'm probably inspired to make a Blackadder reference by my dear friend Russell Brown. You can see. Russell, what on earth are we doing up here?
John, we're here on the Sweets Way estate in Barnet, which is being taken over by Annington Development because Barnet Council aren't sticking up for residents and are dispersing them. Some of these kids are residents now, some of them have probably all been moved on. You, for example, what's going on with you?
Nothing much.
Right, brilliant. That is the disaffected youth of Britain. That is why no one turns out in elections. You there, Shia, what's going on with it? Tell the story to the camera. Focus, don't be looking at a screen the whole time, mate. This is like we're telling the message. So tell me what's happening with your house and your family.
And basically they're going to be destroying our houses to make homes for the rich.
So are we moving into that new development in a couple... What?
Nope.
Oh. Well, I'm a major shareholder in Annington. No, so what's happening is you're losing your home, so rich people can move into this estate. Yeah. So how does that make you feel as a 10-year-old boy? Does it make you feel like an important member of British society or some sort of disposable piece of living tissue?
Disposable piece of living tissue.
So I suppose what you might not know about, because you're kids and everything, is that this is happening all over London and in fact all over the country. It's called social cleansing, where people that earn less money are moved out of desirable real estate to make way for new rich people. But it's not only housing that's affected, it's health, it's all public services, it's the dismantling of the very fabric of society. So I suppose you as young people should, instead of staring at your iPhones, become engaged. In fact, though you are engaged, aren't you? You're participating in it. Yeah. When they're not Snapchatting, these are really active kids.
Engaged.
I don't mean engaged in a marital way. You're 10 years old, but you know, in the fullness of time, that will be an option.
This is possibly the weirdest Griff report I've done. Look at all these people, news crews, everyone here. Look, it's mental.
I'm wedged in this sofa. Wedged in.
We've got free food. We've got free ice cream. Please feel free to take some. There's also some live entertainment coming up.
The reason I've come here to support it is because I'm really interested in local activism where people are taking a stand to participate in new systems now that the obvious superstructures around us are dissolving. Like when no one's got any faith in parliamentary politics anymore, when people are losing interest in consumerism, when people think they can't get any political purchase, movements like the Sweets Way Estate or movements like the Focus E15 Mums, where people take their destiny and their lives into their own hands because they're failed by these institutions, become increasingly inspiring and increasingly necessary. So I've come along mostly because of Jasmine, but increasingly because you see these issues all over London, all over the country. It's happening in Hendon, it's happening in Barnet, it's happened in East London, it's happening in Aylesbury, everywhere, what's happening? And everyone's got the same problem, everyone's got the same opponents, and it's really hard for people to come together.
Hiya, my name's Jeanette, I'm from Barnet Housing Action Group, and I also work with the R West Hendon campaign, who will soon be working with the R Graham Park campaign and the R Dollis Valley campaign, which are the other estates that are being socially cleansed in Barnet. There's going to be about 2,000, I think it is, I'm not sure exactly, in Graham Park. Council housing knocked down, people evicted. In fact, there was a pregnant 8-month-old woman from here who was evicted a couple of weeks ago. She's been moved to Graham Park. I went to a meeting in Graham Park on Monday night, and she's at that meeting finding out when she's going to be evicted from there. We cannot treat people like this. People are not furniture to be moved around the country just at the will of councils. We need council housing, and we need it now.
Hi guys, my name is Dilem. I'm one of the ex-residents who used to live in Sweets Way. Basically, they kicked us out from these lovely houses on the 10th of February, and they left us homeless for 7 days. I know so many people, they kick people out of the borough. No one is being homed inside the borough. People are suffering, people have to travel 2-3 hours to come to schools. They don't see this. They said to us, getting house in Barnet is like winning lottery. If you play lottery, you can win money, but you can't get any house in Barnet because you're poor. They're not helping us at all, so we need your support. Please, please, please support us. We need you guys. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
My name is Garnawi Esma. I used to live in Sweetway.
Okay.
And they give me emergency accommodation. When they give me emergency accommodation, the door is not secure. This is the problem.
You can push it, and then you can come in, and then that worried us. So when we were sleeping, we couldn't sleep properly because we had to stay half awake and half asleep because anybody can come in because all they had to do is push the door.
Is it a black
And then it
one?
opened.
And then when we went there, the fridge was leaking
With water.
with
We had
water
no-
coming out.
We had no shower
For 1 month.
for 1 month now, and we have no hot water coming out of the shower.
My husband, he's in hospital in that time. And you know, with 2 children, 13 years and 14 years, you know.
And because I'm doing GCSE this year, it's kind of disrupted it because getting used to our new house and then with the stress of this housing and then trying to get what I do, I just leave it at the back of my mind and then try to focus, but sometimes it'll just get to a point where I can't carry on and then I'll go somewhere to calm down.
So the reason I'm happy to be involved with this campaign is the problem of housing is across London is reaching a crisis point, and more because we're talking about divided communities and communities without a voice, it seems easy for this corporate creep to take place. It's not only people losing their homes, it's people losing their work, and everywhere all over our country there are disenfranchised and disconnected groups of people all fighting against the same thing. We're all fighting against corporations, we're all fighting against inefficient, ineffective government.
So what do you think of Barnet Council?
They've made our life a misery. So that's like
They make us suffering.
they say they're bringing families together, but actually they're dividing families.
Yeah.
They're dividing a lot of families.
Ross, what do you think of Boris Johnson's actions around housing?
Well, from what I understand, tribally Boris Johnson is part of the problem. Boris Johnson's more interested in courting foreign investors in the London property market. I don't see how he represents ordinary people at all, but then how could he and why would he? So for me, Boris Johnson is very much part of the problem.
So what do you want? You obviously want to come back to the estate?
Yeah, because
here
if you look at all the houses, they're not ruined or they're not
perfectly
in
fine.
bad use. They're perfectly fine, and all they need is people to live in them. Because they're demolishing all these houses, which is costing them more to rebuild luxury houses for the rich.
What do you think, Russ? Like, housing's now the issue, isn't it? Once upon a time, remember when it was the anti-war movement? All the activists, everyone that's politicised, they were drawn to the anti-war movement. You know, back in the early 90s, a lot of it was identity politics, it was race, it was sexuality. But now it feels that housing, that's the lightning rod issue, isn't it?
I hadn't thought of it in those terms, John, but like I suppose you're right, and what's worrying about that is it's no longer abstract. I mean, not that compassion is, well, I suppose compassion is by its essence abstract, caring about other people. I suppose housing becoming so important is an indication that what people are affected by now is losing their homes. We're getting very near the bottom of Maslow's pyramid of needs. We're sort of burrowing underneath it now. People are losing their housing, people are losing their jobs, people are losing the right to have access to healthcare, and I suppose, in a way, if there's anything positive to be gleaned from that, it's the fact that people have got no choice but to participate.
So if people are willing to, it would be good to migrate back around the corner here to numbers 92 and 94 so we can make sure we've got a strong presence there, and no matter what happens, we are going to hold those homes.
This is like John Lennon's bedding, isn't it? But we're
just going to sit here with just one piece. What's wrong with that? What's so strange about peace? So just me and Yoko in the form of these young children are just going to sit here till peace comes. Get in a bag for peace. No, shut up, I hate kids. What we're going to do is we're going to... No, go on, what are you saying? I was joking, that was a joke. Oh, bless you. I mean, look, this is the truth of the matter is here. In a way,
I could solve this problem. I'm a childless man of 39 by moving families into my admittedly nice house. But really what we're talking about is social change on a massive level, because there's loads of kids like you all over the country and all over the world. So we all have an obligation to help one another, and that can be very direct, like you coming and moving into my house. I mean, some people might think it's a bit weird. When that stuff happens in the celebrity world, it's normally got some dodgy connotations, you hear what I'm saying? But what's important, mate, is not the individual acts of altruism and philanthropy, although that's lovely. What's important is that we change the systems.
Having grown up on a council estate, I never thought I would end up back on a council estate with half the world's media here.
Certainly not.
And a movie star. Yeah.
Woo! We're in a house basically the same as the one we grew up in.
Wow. You're spending the night here, Ross?
Where am I going to sleep? Where's my room?
That's the least of your worries.
When I say my room, I mean my floor. When I say, can I?
Yeah. This is a commune.
This is communism.
Don't turn it into Waco.
I'm going to need some rifles and some wives.
There's already a fire out there.
So I'm inspired by the Focus E15 mums. I'm inspired by what's happening here at Sweets Way, and I think what we have an opportunity to do now. Hello, you. I think what we have an opportunity to do now is to create a movement across the capital around housing and work and defending people that are vulnerable, to stop the breakup of community assets like health, to stop the breakup of the jobs of ordinary people, for us to come together in communities and once again forge a connection to the things that we're proud of in this country, a country where we accept people and where we've got a genuine opportunity now to participate in a new movement and have ice cream. Let's have a lovely light-hearted night, enjoy some ice cream, communicate with one another and work on how together we can bring about new emergent movements.
Next verse, say partisan, eh? Ciao bella ciao, bella